Beirut, as more Ukrainian towns and cities come under siege, concern is mounting for millions of civilians in the crossfire. Russia has announced the establishment of safe corridors to allow civilians to leave, but there appear to be few takers. Evacuation routes led mostly to Russia and its ally Belarus, drawing withering criticism from Ukraine and others. And Russia continued to pound some cities with rockets even after the announcement of corridors. Such tactics were common during the Syria war after Moscow entered the war in 2015 to shore up President Bashar Assad's forces. What are humanitarian corridors? Humanitarian corridors arise when a population is caught in a war zone, particularly when a city or town is under siege. The idea is that hostilities are halted for a certain time to allow civilians who need to flee to do so along designated routes or to allow urgent humanitarian aid to enter for civilians who remain. The term was first evoked during the Bosnian War in the 1990s, when the UN set up safe areas for civilians. But the attempt was seen as a failure since the UN was unable to protect the zones when they came under attack. Humanitarian corridors also have been sought in the war in Ethiopia, where millions of people in the Tigray region have been under a government blockade for months. How were they used in Syria? During the Syrian civil war, the Russian and Syrian militaries pursued a strategy of systematically besieging opposition-held cities, towns and districts, sometimes for months or even years. The sieges rained destruction on the populations, with airstrikes, artillery and rockets blasting residential districts, hospitals and infrastructure. Eventually in each case, the Russians and Syrians would offer humanitarian corridors, telling civilians and even some fighters they could leave. Most would then be funneled into the northwest province of Idlib, which remains to this day the last opposition-held enclave in Syria. Humanitarian corridors were created for besieged districts around Damascus and parts of the cities of Homs and Hama. The largest and most famous was for eastern Aleppo in late 2016, capping 4 years of devastating siege.